So when I say St. Louis Blues, looking back at the last 10 years or so, what do you find?
Veteran, deep, hard team to play against. Team that always seems like they're kind of in the mix, so it'll be a tough test for us tonight.
Did you watch LA and Calgary last night? Do you check all the scores and look at the standings every morning?
I didn't last night, no, but I, obviously keep tabs on things. Yes, so yes.
Okay. And do you sort of get emotional with how other teams are doing, or just like, okay, that's what happened?
I mean, no, not really. I think it's just, it's out of your control, so there's nothing really to get all fired up about. Understanding where you're at in the standings is obviously important, and not taking that for granted. Obviously, it's tight, for the last couple playoff spots. So I think every game's important when it comes down to you're getting this time of the season.
I don't know if you pay attention to this type of thing, but there's a chance to tie a club record for consecutive home wins tonight. I know you want to win home and away, but what about the home success lately? What do you think? No,
I think it's something that you want to take pride in as you're at your home rink. You want to be hard to play against. I think as of late we've done a good job of taking care of business at home, and obviously having fans back in the building and creating some energy for us has been a huge part in that. And like you said, you want to make it as a hostile environment as you can at home, and make it hard to play against when teams come into your building. So obviously that's important going down the stretch and headed into playoffs.
Noticed this morning you were taking rims and passing to defensemen, communicating a lot. When you go in and the defensemen react a certain way to you in your puck handling, and then the other guy's not as much of a puck handler, do you have to work the morning skate to make sure that everyone's on the same page here when Mike Smith's playing?
No, I think everyone's played with me at some point. Even Cooley I played with him in Calgary, so I think everyone's has an idea of what's going on out there at this point in the season. So it's just something we do at every pregame skate, to be honest. So it's just something that's an important part of our game and exiting our zone cleanly. And I think everyone's pretty aware of what's going on out there at this point.
You had, I'm going to say, 3 real good starts, then you got thrown in halfway through against Calgary. And now you're playing again. You haven't played for a little while. Where's your game? Are you at a point where are you playing enough to find the game that you want to find? Can you do it at this rate of play?
Well, I think you always want to play more, but Mikko's played great, and I think you're being ready for whenever your name's called. So I think it's just I feel like my game has been good, minus the Calgary game. Obviously was I don't think anyone was happy with their game in that one, but the 3 prior to that were good, and I feel like my game's in a good spot. So just go in there and play up to my capabilities and see what happens.
Mike, when you look at St. Louis, you mentioned a hard team to play against. Some teams, they seem to crash the net more. Dave Perron specifically, and they got a few other guys. Do you have to adjust for that? Do you know certain teams and certain guys where they're going to be maybe in your face more? And how does a goalie adjust to that?
Yeah, obviously some teams play that kind of hard-nosed game, and St. Louis is one of them, and that's why they've had success, I think, in the playoffs in the last few years. So I think, honestly, it doesn't really change. You just battle for position and try to find pucks through screens, and that's playoff kind of hockey. That's just part of, gaining valuable points at this time of the season. It's, the good teams are the ones that get to the net and score the dirty goals. And as a goalie, you want to compete, as hard as you can to find pucks and battle through screens and bumps and whatever it may take to get in the way of shots. So I think it's this team is obviously, like I said, a good test for our D-core in front of me, and then myself for guys coming to the paint. But it's nothing I haven't seen before. It's just compete as hard as you can and hopefully get in the way of pucks.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is up earlier talking about the bigger focus on coming back for the forwards, helping the D so they can stand up and at times pinch off the guys coming. The scoring chances off the rush have lowered significantly since Jay Woodcroft took over. How does the goaltender reads change? Has that like, I'm assuming it makes it easier because there's less high-quality chances, but have you noticed a difference in the defensive play? How does that benefit the goaltenders and their reads you can make?
Yeah, I think it's just the time and space that, the opponents have with the puck. I think that's the main focus is, since Jays came in, is tight gaps, good back pressure, and, making them come through 5 guys, to get any chances they can get, not giving away scoring chances. And, our teams did a really good job of kind of buying into that. And I think, like Nuge said, it's not just on the D. It's back pressure from the forwards, applying, pressure from behind and, enabling our defensemen to stand up and have good gap and defend our lines, much better. So I think it's definitely something that's been preached here, seems like every day, which is, in turn, limited the scoring chances, against us. So I think obviously that helps, the position tremendously when you're not giving up as many, grade A scoring chances. I think the guys have done a great job of buying into what, the coach has been preaching, and I think it's been a big reason why we've been successful here in the last little while.
Mike, you've played a long time. Are there teams that dump the puck in more than other teams? Like St. Louis always seems to play that way. They go in and they forecheck hard, but you're a goalie that handles the puck well. So do you see kind of a chess game here? They don't want to dump it in on you because you're going to get the puck back up ice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is teams that would prefer to carry it in the zone. I think most teams would, but like I said, with kind of the way we're playing now, it makes it more difficult to stick handling your way through the neutral zone without turning pucks over. So I think there's a happy medium there with teams you're playing against, whether they want to, get the puck in deep and risk giving it to the goalie and breaking out, or it's hard to put it in that area where it's untouchable. So I think it's mainly on the way we're playing in front of me. And then, as far as teams forechecking, I think they're always trying to keep it away from the goalie. It's just something that can deter a forecheck pretty quickly. So I think it's always something that's probably talked about from an opponent standpoint, but it doesn't change what I'm trying to do.
One last question. You've played on teams too that perhaps were home and cooled and ahead in their division, and then they're playing the last 15 games. Is it good to have games that are so meaningful going into the playoffs so you get used to playing these sort of games before you get to the playoffs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, would it be nice to be 20 points up right now and be comfortable? Yes. But I think these are important games for us going down the stretch. Right to the last game, it'll be like playoff hockey. And what better way to prepare for playoffs than to play in, 15 games that mean so much going into the playoffs. That way you're not trying to turn a switch on and find a game when you've been kind of maybe playing not to get hurt or resting guys or whatever it may be. So I think there's definitely two ways to look at it. But I've always been a big proponent of, it's not a switch you just flick on and off when you want to play well. It's if you carry momentum going into the playoffs, I think it just benefits you.
Thank you.
Ask you about your and Mikko's confidence in the tandem that the two of you have. You guys seem to get along great and have each other's backs, and also kind of, maybe, I don't know if challenge is the right word, but he's playing well, you're playing well, and it seems to be working for the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Meek's a great guy. I don't think he's got a bad bone in his body, to be honest. So I think he's just got a tremendous demeanor about him, and he's obviously easy to get along with. And we're both trying to help this team, win and get to the, a final goal. And a healthy competition is important. It's something that it's probably more important than ever with the way that the schedule is and as many games we're playing, that you definitely need two guys that can get in there the net and give your team a chance to win hockey games. Mikko's played, tremendously all season long, but it's my turn tonight, and I just want to go in there and play as well as he's been playing the last, few games. And after that, that's all you can control, really. So I think that's all I'm really worried about right now. Mikko and I we're all playing for the same reason. We all want to win, and we're no different. And the relationship's healthy, and that's important. And I got his back and he's got mine, and we're all in it together.